Hey everyone, what's up? This is Michael Mathis from CrossFit M2. Here today to bring you Chalk Talk again. That's right, get excited. Chalk Talk is back. Here for more tips and tricks to help aid your fitness.
How's it going, everybody? This is Brandon at CrossFit M2. I want to go over some common faults I've seen in the squat lately, because I'm here every back squat Tuesday, as most of you know. So there's three common mistakes I've been seeing in the squat. The first one I want to go over is keeping a neutral spine in a squat. So one metaphor I want to show you guys to go over how to keep your spine neutral is I want to use this PVC pipe, and I want you all to pretend that this PVC pipe is your spine. So if I was to put a weight on this spine, as if you were back squatting, you would have weight on the back of your shoulders, on your spine. And if I was to put weight on this and this spine was, say, rounded when the weight gets on it, it's just going to keep rounding and potentially break, which can be very harmful for your back, and you might not be able to squat for a while. So if I put weight on it and it's been either overextended or rounded, it's not good either way. If you keep that spine straight and put weight on it, that thing's not going anywhere. So just like in your squat, you're squatting, you have a bar on your back and weight. You don't want to be rounded, so you don't want your head looking at the ground and a rounded back, because that's terrible. If you have your back overextended, that's just as bad. You don't want to be looking at the ceiling. So I know a lot of coaches at other gyms and whatnot will tell you to look up when you're coming out of your back squat. That's wrong, and you should probably keep your head in a neutral position. So when you're back squatting, you want your head to be looking at the ground about 6 feet out in front of you. That way you can keep that neutral spine. So that's the first mobility mistake that I've seen quite a few times around here. The second one is the knees out in front of your toes when you squat. So when you're squatting, the first thing I see so many people doing in here is activating their squat with their knees. So the first thing they do is push their knees out to get in the bottom of that squat. So if you notice where my knees are right now, they are over my toes. I actually squatted like that for a while, and I noticed over a few weeks to a month, I started to get really bad knee pain. So I fixed my squat by setting my hips back first before even going down, and then dropping down. That way I'm really activating those hamstrings, I'm activating those glutes, and I'm bouncing out of it with my hips. And that's going to give you so much more power to bounce out of that squat, and you're not going to create knee pain, and all is going to be great there. The third fault I see in a lot of squats is a lot of you guys, when you're squatting, your chest is just facing the ground. You're not keeping that vertical torso like this. That's what we ideally, this is where we want your torso to be in the squat. We don't want you to be like this, because for one, it's hard to get your hip crease below your knee when your chest is facing the ground. And two, it's hard to stand up out of a squat because you're also kind of doing a good morning to get up out of that. So one drill I want to show you to help with the squat is I'm going to have Michael come up next to the wall here, about a foot away from the wall, and I'm going to set this wall ball back here. So I'm going to have him put his arms up like he's doing an air squat. I'm actually going to have him come a little bit closer to the wall, about a half step. There we go. And I'm going to have him just set his hips back and start going down to that squat. Now it's going to be very challenging. And all right, stop. Say he's really tight and that's as far as he can go. I'm just going to have him hold that there for a second. And now keep trying to go lower. There we go. And there, he's touching that medicine ball. Now, Michael obviously has really good flexibility. He's been squatting for a while, so that's easier for him than most people. But for most people, I'm going to have him stand up. for most people, it's going to be hard to get past, like, I don't know, half of a full squat. So like right there.
It's tough.
Yes, for some people it's going to be really tough right there. They're going to start touching the wall, which we don't want. They're going to start, their chest is going to be forward, so it's going to be hard to get lower without touching that wall because their chest is going down. So basically you want to fight the urge to drop your chest, and by having your hands up there, it's really going to help you keep that chest vertical, and you're going to have to set your hips back for that to happen. So your knees won't be coming over your toes. And basically, if you can come over to the wall and just do that, maybe once a day before you come into back squat Tuesdays to do your back squats, that's going to benefit you a lot. If you can get down to that ball, keeping a neutral spine, keeping your hips back, and keeping your chest up. If you can do that, that would be awesome. And that's the 3 faults I've been noticing in here. And
Brandon, question for you. Where should my feet be positioned when I am going to go do my squat like that?
when you are going to be doing your squat like that, you want your feet about shoulder width apart. So basically where you would catch a clean or a snatch is going to be the same spot you're going to be air squatting or back squatting and basically doing any squatting movement. You don't want them under your hips because it's going to be hard to really get underneath there. And also, one more thing I want to go over is I want your toes to be pointed straight forward, not out to the side, because you're going to lose a lot of stability in your hamstrings and your glutes when they're out here, because it's going to be harder for your knees to come out in that situation. When they're pointed forward, it's easier for your knees to go out, and you're going to have a lot more stability. When you're here, there's a good chance your knees are going to come in when you're squatting. I see so many times people try to stand up out of a squat and their knees are coming in because their toes are pointed out. So if you can get those toes pointed forward when you're squatting, it's gonna do a lot for your squat, and it's gonna help you out in the long run.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We would love to hear your comments. Please post comments below. Check out our CrossFit M2 Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at CrossFit M2, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We hope this video was helpful, and we hope to see you back soon on CrossFit M2 Chalk Talk. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.